and welcome to our millions of viewers here in Nigeria, the continent, and all around the world. This is Lunchtime Politics. I am Kelly Egiga. This hour, here's what is coming up. Senate finally bows to pressure, unseals the office of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. Plus on the program, again, Senate alters calendar, shifts resumption of plenary sittings from September 23 to October 7, 2025.
To unseal Senator Natasha Akpoti's office, I, Alabi, Deputy Director, Sergeant at Arms, hereby unseal the office. The office is hereby.
Well, you're looking at images just a moment ago as the National Assembly unsealed the office of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, located somewhere in Suhe 2.05 of the Senate wing. This comes after the trial against her on alleged cybercrime before Justice Mohammed Umar of the Federal High Court. Abuja was stalled following an objection raised by the defendant, and currently it is unclear whether or not this unsealing indicates her return to the upper chamber. All right, so that's our top story this hour, the unsealing of the office of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. Let's stay with the National Assembly because the Assembly has now postponed the resumption of plenary sessions by 2 weeks. This was disclosed in a memo sent to all members of the National Assembly and signed by the clerk of the Assembly. Originally scheduled to resume on September 23, that's today, plenary will now commence on October 7. In the memo, the spokesperson requested all the distinguished senators and members to take note of the new date and adjust their schedules accordingly. Now let's get to talk some more now from the National Assembly. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, says the House of Reps will ensure the amendment of the 1999 Constitution is successful in this 10th Assembly after failed attempts from previous assemblies. Speaking at the national public hearing on the alteration to the Constitution, Honorable Tajuddin commended Nigerians for coming out in their numbers to ensure their voices are heard, explaining that the process would impact on all sectors of the society.
On the review of the
it's a large turnout of various interest groups, from civil society organizations to youth and women groups, traditional rulers, labor unions, political parties and legislators, as the House of Representatives seeks to amend the 1999 Constitution. The Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, assures stakeholders that the House is prepared to ensure that the amendment process succeeds.
As Speaker, I pledge that we will take your contribution seriously and consider the bills with diligence, fairness, and urgency. We will engage the state assemblies respectfully and transparently to secure their concurrence. We will continue to work with the executive and with you, the people, to ensure that the amendment process proceeds smoothly.
The Deputy Speaker, who doubles as the Chairman of the House Committee on Constitution Amendment, Mr. Benjamin Kalu, pledges to make the process all-inclusive.
This is the solemn mandate of the House of Representatives Committee on Constitution Review. Since our inauguration, we have embarked on the most comprehensive, most consultative review process in Nigeria's democratic history. We have held retreats with legal scholars and technical consultants. We have convened dialogues with the judiciary, security agencies, and national women groups. We have engaged with our vibrant civil society and held zonal public hearings all through the 6 geopolitical zones of our great nation.
In their goodwill messages, the stakeholders assured the House of their continued support for the process.
This engagement is particularly important as it resonates strongly with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, which seeks to enthrone good governance, inclusivity, and sustainable development. The process you are undertaking today is therefore not only about amending legal provisions, it is about giving Nigerians renewed confidence that their voices matter in shaping the future of our democracy.
As your long-standing partner and friend, the UK remains committed to supporting democratic institutions and processes that build a Nigerian nation and state that's more peaceful, prosperous, and responsive to the needs of its citizens.
We are also supporting electoral reforms. We have currently our electoral follow-up mission in town, following up on our EU observation mission during the 2023 elections, and exchanging with authorities, responding to the invitation of INEC. We are also supporting your works on judicial reforms, on local government autonomy, on institutional strengthening, and on fundamental rights.
But it's not just the special seats bill that's an issue. There are several other issues, and most of these amendments seek to secure grassroots governance, ensure timely and fair elections, expand rights and representation, strengthen accountability, and stabilize Nigeria's democratic order.
The committee is expected to put together their presentations and present them before the House for consideration and passage.
All right, so let's get to unpack Nigeria's constitution review in just a moment, as we are joined by a former House of Representatives. He represented Ijebu-Ode, Odugbolu, and Ijebu constituency right there at the House of Representatives. Honorable Kehinde Odenia joins us live on the program. I should say he's also a chartered accountant. Thank you so much for agreeing to talk to us this hour.
It's my pleasure.
Just before we talk some issues around the economy, because you're a chartered accountant, so you understand it's how do I say this now? You're a politician, but you also understand the workings of the economy. So I'll see how you're going to create a balance between the two. But Natasha has been in the news, and just a moment ago, we have told our viewers that her office has officially been unsealed after a 6-month suspension at the House. I'm wondering who is the better actor, the Senate or Natasha, because they had to also make a video to show Nigerians that, look, you know what, we have all now unsealed the office. I don't know when this became part of what it should be. But from the standpoint where you are, people also believe that this is, perhaps there was a lot of pressure on the leadership of the Senate.
Yeah, you know, anything that comes with gender, especially women, is always an issue, because Natasha will not be the first person to be suspended from the floor of the National Assembly. But you see, the way it all started, and the kind of actors and actresses that were involved, and it's just because there's so much interference in the legislative processes. Ordinarily, what happened to Natasha is normal. It's not an abnormal thing, it's not an abnormality. And I just wondered why the noise was so much and all sort of things. At the point, it became a drama. And it was as if it shouldn't have happened. It was as if it was something abnormal. It was as if something that shouldn't have even occurred in the first instance.
Well, that's because the leadership of the Senate, too, at some point, were now trying to go back to hold on to the court, you know, and saying, look, you know what, there's a case pending in courts.
It is normal. It is normal that when a case is in court, nobody speaks about it on the floor of the House. Every arm of government is supposed to be independent. And, you know, if any pronouncement is made on the floor of the House as concerning the case, it might one way or the other influence the judgment. And
I know these are your former colleagues and your friends, so I'm not surprised the position you're taking.
Natasha is also my former colleague.
So, but you don't see anything wrong with the Senate leadership. I know you're a member of the APC, so you may not.
No. Wait. I think there's something wrong ab initio. What was the issue? Change your seat.
Okay.
Did anybody come with a seat to National Assembly? No. So the leadership is in the manual of the National Assembly there, on other paper. I mean, in the order of the National Assembly there, you are to be allocated a seat by the leadership.
All right.
So what is the noise about?
There are strong allegations against the Senate President.
About what?
Sexual harassment, intimidation, and all of that. We'll see how this play out in court. But in developed climes, for instance, we may say it's personal, but in developed climes, Akpabio perhaps should have stepped down to allow for a private investigation to have gone on.
What Natasha should have done right from beginning, if she was actually very sure of that case, she should have started with that case and not the sitting case.
All right.
Is that okay?
Let's leave it there. Let's talk Nigeria's economy, because you're a chartered accountant, so we can't come here and not say something about the economy. It sounds like good news. The NBS says gross domestic products grew at 4.23%. I'm sure the APC government would lash onto this news, but the reality on the ground for many Nigerians is that we are not feeling it.
Yeah. One thing I want to say is that, one, we have to give kudos to the federal government, especially under the leadership of Asiwaju. Let me say something, and I will always say this. Nigerians are quick to forgive, and also quick to remember bad deeds. They are quick to forgive bad deeds and quick to also remember bad deeds. What do I mean? Asiwaju came into power. Forget about the fact that I'm an APC member. We have to say the obvious. Asiwaju came into power barely 2 years and some months. And everybody expected miracle. And that is what we always, almost and every time expect in Nigeria. The same thing happened when Buhari came into power. He came maybe because he was a soldier man before and all sort of things. So this person came in. He said it right from beginning. I am going to do this. The very first time any Nigerian president will be so bold. Any Nigerian president will be so bold to say that I am going to do this, and he started it immediately. We have to give kudos to him. And he did not say he's a miracle worker. He did not say everything was going to change immediately he got in there. Do not forget that things have been so bad. We were printing currency here, we were printing naira here, and everybody was happy because it was going round.
Yeah, people argue
that's why somebody could decide to get or acquire a 774 housing unit estate for himself, being a CBN governor. You see, the thing is this. We have to be very, very careful here, in the sense that when Asiwaju came in, everybody knew that the economy was bad. It was bad. Forget about the fact that we are spending artificial naira. We were having artificial exchange rates. You understand? But this person came and said, no, things must stop. If Nigeria is going to live beyond 2023, there's so many things that has to come in place. It is true that we may not be feeling the impact, the positive impact immediately. Let me let you know this. If something got spoiled for 5 years, it might take more than 5 years to get it better than what it was. Is that okay? And we are just gradually getting out of those woods and getting better. And I can assure you that we'll get better than this.
It's interesting to hear you say that we're getting better. But I mean, before Asiwaju's tenure, it was an 8-year tenure of an APC member. I should remind you.
Yeah, so I agree.
You agree?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay, I'm happy that you guys are no longer blaming the PDP for the 16 years.
I won't be part of that.
All right, but I think that sometimes when you look at the performance of the economy, the hardships Nigerians are going through, it looks like the APC is making it easier for the opposition parties. Don't you think so?
No, maybe because we are not also making noise. And that is why people feel that, you should have achieved more than what you are achieving. But if you look at every parameters, yes, I can confidently tell you that we are moving forward. We are not moving backward.
All right.
We are moving forward, and we will continue to move forward.
Let's talk the constitution review. Public hearings, yesterday ongoing at the FCT. The process is going to wind down this year, December this year. There have been questions around inclusive governance and gender equality, and that's why proposals like the reserved seats for women is also on the front burner, mandatory seats for gender balance and all of that. I'm just wondering if your former friends or your friends at the State Assembly, the National Assembly, would allow these bills to see the light of day.
They have no reasons not to allow the bills to see the light of day. Why? Because while it is the responsibility of the National Assembly to collate together submissions made by citizens of Nigeria, they will also look at it, look at the pros and cons of all the things that they have collated. I'm not going to speak too much about this gender thing, because I don't know who made female or women to be inferior. They made themselves to be inferior. I won't speak too much about it. But we have seen situations where...
Is that the proper thing to say? Because
no.
The arguments would be that we find ourselves perhaps in a chauvinistic environment where the males get to dominate.
Kelly,
and that's why currently in the Senate we have less than 5 women.
No, Kelly, see. We have seen several countries where women have come up and even men have supported. In Nigeria, let a woman come out, even in a female-dominated constituency, it is still the same female that will go against them.
Because that's one of the concerns for Natasha.
But that is not the issue.
That because she's a woman, her voice is being silenced.
Natasha has, she can actually hear her opinion. You see, and I think for everything that happens to a woman now, the first thing to do is to quickly hide under that guise of, I am a female, I am a female.
So you don't agree that the voices of females have been trampled upon in this country? Is that what you're saying?
Even if you look at the population, they will tell you that the number of females in Nigeria is more than the men. So how can those men that are of little number now overshadow the female of higher number? So meaning that even some of them do not believe in themselves. But that is not even the only issue in the Constitution amendment. So yes. don't let us take too much time on that. There are several things. This National Assembly is trying to come up. You see, every other assembly have taken one step or the other to do one thing or the other in the constitutional review. But I think this particular assembly is taking so much. And why we're having so much to be done is because, it is high time that a lot of laws that we have, it's not as if we don't have laws in Nigeria. We have laws. They are the implementations. Some of those laws are, is that outdated or need to be reviewed. And that is exactly what this National Assembly is doing, to make sure that so many things, and it is going to make governance seamless. It is going to open up a lot of doors, even for investment opportunities and so many other things. Even the women, too. The issue of 35% stake has always been, in the front burner. And I hope and wish that even when such is passed, they will make themselves available and they will support each other.
Honorable Kehinde, one of the key areas of this review has to do with the issues around devolution of powers, the fact that states have been clamoring to control their own resources and all of that. So I'm just wondering, perhaps, when you look at what has played out over the years, look at the battle, the back and forth between the states and the central government, how this will play out, because most presidents we've had have always agreed that, we're going to restructure, but when they get into power, it's always difficult to perhaps relinquish some of those powers to the states. So beyond the politics of what we are doing, in actual sense, do you think this is going to scale through this time around? Powers are going to perhaps be moved a bit away from the central government?
If you look at the posture of the present president, you will realize that it's someone that has also been clamoring for this even before coming into power. And from the steps he has taken so far, you will also realize that it's someone that is also in support of the evolution of power. One, he's been talking about, even before coming into power, he's been talking about state police, state police, state police. And very recently, he still called the governors and spoke that the best way to tackle the national security is to have state police. State police is one of those items that will be in the issue of devolution of powers. Look at for the first time in Nigeria, we are having a president that has decided to give so much back to the state. We are having a president that has decided to give freedom to local government authorities. So I want to believe that this is going to scale through, although it may not necessarily take everything at once that everybody is looking for when it comes to devolution of power. But what we need now is to take steps, one thing after the other. And I feel that even when at the end of this whole constitutional review, everything that everybody is looking for in respect of devolution of power may not necessarily be in totality, but I can assure you that a lot will be taken into consideration because this president's posture, favors devolution of power, and he has started it.
Well, some will agree with you, but some will not. Yes, we know that monies, he has clamored for local government autonomy, but there are still some state governors who hold on to these monies or try to block these spendings by local governments or at that level, and some of them are APC members in your party. So, as powerful as the president is, he's still unable to put the governors, even in the APC, in check.
Let me let you know something. We are talking about devolution of power here. So we're also talking about the independence of states here as well. So it is the responsibility. The president has done his own part. It is now for me and you, all of us, as citizens of each state and this country, to know what to do. If you feel strongly that your governor is not doing what he's supposed to do, you are free to go to court. The assemblies are also there to also make sure that these are implemented. So you won't blame the federal government or blame the governor. Blame the president that yes, autonomy has been granted to local governments, but some states, whether APC or PDP or Labour Party, are still not following. If any citizen of this country feels otherwise or feels aggrieved, the channels are there and open. But the federal government, the president, has done what he's supposed to do. He has said autonomy should be given to local government, even to the extent of the federal government going to court. He has gone to court. So, meaning that he has opened that channels for all of us as Nigerians, that if we are at any point in time you feel that the governor of your state is not doing what he's supposed to do, is not following that judgment, you are so free to go to the court.
So in terms of representation, because that's another concern when people have looked at this constitutional review, people have said, you know what, yes, public hearings were held at the 6 geopolitical zones, but there have also been concerns as to, you know what, we are talking over 200 million Nigerians. And what that means is that perhaps those are the villages, those at the grassroots levels, perhaps may not have gotten some sort of representation at these public hearings. Yes, we held yesterday in Abuja, for instance, but it doesn't capture the larger chunk of Nigeria's vast population, and that's the concern. So people are wondering, are we sure that what is going to be out there would represent the average Nigerian on the street, or the average man who is in one village or the other, because of how these public hearings and the location of these public hearings could perhaps, because when it's time for you politicians to share rice and share, you know how to take it to the grassroots. But when it comes to things like this, it's a bit difficult for politicians to want to take it and let it get across to those villages and all of the hinterlands, the communities.
You see, the politicians have nothing to hide as far as constitutional review is concerned. They have nothing to hide.
But they do have interests.
No, everybody is supposed to have interest, including politicians.
But the politicians have interest, and they are making their interest really, really felt in how this review is going. We can sense it already.
There's no way, if you do not allow, there's no way that the voices of the politicians will overshadow the voices of Nigerians as a whole. What is the quantum of the number? What is the quantum of politicians in Nigeria compared to the total population of Nigerians? The problem is that, yes, I know that National Orientation Organization agency has also done a lot in respect of this constitutional review. They have done a lot of campaign, sensitization and other stuff. The same thing the National Assembly has done, even on televisions and other stuff. But one funny thing is that a lot of Nigerians, even the educated ones, do not bother. And the conclusion they always drive is that whether you go out or you don't go out, will our voices be heard? That is the problem. Unfortunately, again, the civil society organizations that are supposed to also go out, because we are making this thing look as if it's just the federal government thing alone or the National Assembly thing alone. No. The civil society, there are so many civil society organizations in this country that have also collected money one way or the other for these purposes, whether within the country or outside the country. We also expect them to go out, do much sensitization to the extent that people will come out, make their voices to be heard, and also let the legislators know precisely what exactly are we doing. There was a time in this country that we had to go to each local government. I was there then. We did at local government levels. But you find out that even at that level, with all the sensitization and the noise and everything, a lot of people still didn't come out. But you wonder why. Because not all Nigerians are bothered with what the constitution will run. Because they will always come to the terms that, whether you like it or not, politicians know how to do it. But for how long do we fold our arms and believe that politicians must be the one directing all affairs when we have the opportunities to come out and speak?
We have to leave it now, but in 10 seconds, I know you're a member of the APC.
Yeah.
What's your scorecard of the Tinubu administration on a scale of 1 to 10?
Fantastic. 8 over 10.
8 over 10?
Yeah.
Is that a representation of you and your friends and your colleagues, or the representation of the larger Nigerian population?
Larger Nigerian population.
Who are experiencing hardship?
See, hardship in relative terms.
Well, Honorable Kehinde Odeniyi is a chartered accountant. He's also a former House of Representative member. He represented Ijebu-Ode, Ojugbolu, and Ijebu constituency. We must thank you indeed for your time on the program.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's our show this hour. Thank you indeed for watching. On behalf of the production team and everyone here, I am Kelly Egiga, and you have been served on Lunchtime Politics. Bye now.